So previously on the channel, we've talked about looks maxing, starve maxing, and even looks minimizing. But today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into the world of fraud maxing. Now, what is fraud maxing, you might ask? Well, let's go ahead and let Clavicular tell us.
What is frauding?
Frauding is exactly what we just talked about. So using makeup, using shoe lifts, wearing wigs, things like that. These are all frauds because that's not actually who you are.
Now look, when I first saw this, I thought that was kind of strange. I didn't think guys were actually going out here wearing makeup, doing their hair, doing their nails, stuff like that. But boy was I wrong. So once I started down this video, I started going down a huge rabbit hole, as you do as the unemployed friend, and I discovered a whole world of fraud maxing.
So if you want to look your best, you have a function, you have a party, you have somewhere you need to be, and you need to mog, do this, for all these instructions.
Alright, so here's what you're gonna do, boys. You're about to go out. I haven't been to the gym in about 3 weeks, so hence the lack of gains. But essentially what you're gonna wanna do, fellas, is tape this to your delts so that you actually look like you have a little bit of size on you.
Now, as odd as this trend might seem, I am definitely a little bit curious to learn more about the whole realm of fraud maxing and, give it a shot, see what it's all about.
It doesn't matter. Women fraud the hardest out of anyone. They're wearing the most makeup. They're wearing, fake bras. Sometimes they're stuffing stuff in their bras as well. So women are like the pinnacle fraud maxers. So all I'm suggesting is why can't men compete on the same, level,
While some people might see this as sort of like an alpha bro, salty, black-pilled mentality, I definitely understand what he's saying here. If women can take more time focusing on their appearances, trying to become the best version of themselves before they go on a night out of the town, why can't guys? Like, what's wrong with playing a little bit of dress up now and then in order to look your best? Like, for instance, this guy. I mean, shoot, this guy's living his best life over here with his 3-inch insoles, doing his makeup, and has his magnetic earrings and shoulder pads in. I guess there is a little bit of a problem with that, but we'll get there eventually. And then we have this guy using BB cream, I don't know what that is, eyebrow pencil, lip gloss, eyelash curler, mascara, hype boosters. Okay, more makeup. It's definitely interesting, I guess. And then you have this guy here, which he is also fraud maxing, but he's fraud maxing to a whole nother level that I just can't quite comprehend. More in the actual sense and of the sense that I don't know what he's saying. Like, am I unk? Am I unk now? Like, I'm trying to understand the whole black pill lingo, but I just can't seem to figure it out.
As a 6'6" man, I'm still wearing height inserts when I go to the bar, plus Air Maxes. So basically, I'm trying to fraud 6'9" minimum. Basically, shorter people are trying to wear inserts to even the playing field. And here's the thing though, dude, like, look at me facially, like, I'm LTN. So the problem is that if I'm 6'6" and someone who's 6 foot tall now is 6'3", and they have a face card that's better than mine, they're actually going to have a higher SMV in my opinion. So how do I counteract this? Well, I put inserts on my own. Oh, but dude, you're 6'6", man. Don't do it. No, but you can do it. No, I'm going to do the same thing. So now we're both 6'9". We're both contributing to hypergamy. Now what? You know what I'm saying? So you did this to yourself. Now I'm 6'9". Now I'm absolutely mogging everybody. And then, I'm LTN, so I just got to keep my advantage.
I mean, I can't tell if it's a satire or not, but I guess if it's not, then it just goes to show that we all have a level of insecurity in our lives when it comes to, things like height. Now, there are some very good tips I have seen about fraud maxing, like this guy right here. I don't know, I just thought he gave some really good tips. If you're having a really sluggish day, you're not looking your best, and you want to hurry up and look good as fast as possible, I thought this was pretty interesting.
So if you want to look your best, you have a function, you have a party, you have somewhere you need to be, and you need to mog, do this, for all these instructions. Firstly, do not eat for that whole entire day. And what you need to be drinking is black coffee. Drink like 3 or 4 cups of black coffee. Secondly, you'll need to get tinted sunscreen. It'll help even out some of the hyperpigmentation on your face and just give you overall better skin texture. Next, you'll want to use a waterline pen. This is like my secret hack. You put it over your zygos like this, you blend it in and go down, and it'll give you the effect of hollow cheekbones. Next, you can use Lumify eye drops. It'll make the whites of your eyes even more white, and it'll give you some more contrast. And lastly, you can use Aquaphor and then put it on your
eyebrows. This is kind of cope, but I've just been doing it since I was a kid, so yeah. So once again, this is base dependent. If you don't have good base and you do these things, what's 1 times 1? It's still 1. You need to have a multiplier going in, but if you have a good base, this will help you out a lot.
So in essence, to me, fraudmaxxing merely seems like what women are doing. They're trying to become the best version of themselves through means that they cannot acquire naturally speaking, of course. Now, is this a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Well, I think it's a little bit of both, you know what I'm saying? I think it's cool to, sort of somewhat even the playing field, but when you even the playing field a bit, you're almost moving the goalposts in a certain way when you think about it. You're adding on more insecurity than you never had before, because the thing is that these aren't realistic standards. You're having to use artificial ways like makeup, shoulder pads, etc. in order to become the person that you want to be. Everyone's fake. But then again, maybe that's reassuring for some people. Everyone's fake. So just be yourself, because even Clavicular over here is insecure about some part of his body, even though the dude looks like Superman. And then you have guys that you think they have it all put together, like they're 6'6". Literally, I would have killed as a kid to be even remotely close to 6 feet tall, because I always thought I was cooked. But you think you find a guy like this who has their whole life put together, being at that height, and he's not even happy. He wants to push the barrier to be 6'9". So here's the thing, right? A lot of these guys have one singular thing in common. One, they love the way they look, and they want to improve their looks and their chances, whether it's to find a woman or to have a better social appearance. And 2, there's a lot of insecurity that can be going on in here. Now look, I'm not saying that's just for guys. I think it goes both way, even with women. I think this trend is merely, shining a light on the whole insecurity thing that's going on right now. Now, what's sort of my final thoughts, conclusions on all this? Well, to be honest, I'm kind of neutral. I think there's levels that go into this. I think it can start as sort of a good thing, slowly by surely you can slowly improve your looks. It can give you some temporary confidence. But again, there's levels to all of this, and I think if you go to an extreme level, it can be very unhealthy with it. Because especially with fraudmaxxing and not long-term longevity solutions, you're going to create a lot more insecurities, because once you get that makeup cloth, once you wipe off that makeup off your face, once you take the height insoles out, you're just going to be back to the way you were. But I mean, hey, maybe you can fool others around you, but you're never going to be able to fool yourself at the end of the day. But hey, I guess if you're happy with what you see in the mirror, then that's what it's all about. But in essence, that's basically fraudmaxxing, and that's my opinion on it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.